Welcome to the opening of Tarkett Atelier in Stockholm. This is a brand new space designed in collaboration with the design studio Note, or Note Design Studio. My name is Anna Beatrice and I have the honor to chair today's conversation, sending live from Södermalm, Stockholm. So we will start today with a short 4-minute film, so you get a feel for this ambitious and beautiful space. And then we will return here to the studio and have some more in-depth conversations. And then we will finalize the talk with some questions from you. So feel free to add your questions in the live chat. But first, the film.
There are unlimited opportunities with this space. We want to go from words to action. And we chose for this showroom to use only fully recyclable products. Of course, here you can find a vast material library with loads and loads of samples. But we also like it to be an arena for talks about design, sustainability. And we believe in a holistic approach of all these topics being brought together. The products we produce, they need to be good for people, but they also need to be good for the planet, the bigger scope, the climate.
I think sustainability and design are connected. They marry good together. Recycling in reality for us at Tarkett means that we actually walk the talk. Make sure that everything from the product to the actual recycling and turn it into new raw material works the whole way. So that's recycling in reality. We take waste and we replace virgin raw material. This material comes from an IKEA store in Västerås. It was around 400 square meters in the kitchen department. This material was sent to our washing machine in Ronneby, where we can take away the adhesive and the flooring screed from the floor. And now it's new granules and we can use it again to produce new vinyl floors. The pure knowledge of knowing that, for instance, a product like this can be made or have been made out of recycled material makes it more beautiful in a way to look at.
We designed the space not as a traditional showroom, but more of a combination of different functions. Another beautiful thing with this project is all of these materials that you see are from the circular selection, which means they are 100% recyclable. The design is also a key. It's not just a showroom, it's also a meeting place. Tarkett went from being a floor producer into a material innovator. One of the things with the Tarkett materials is they are, from the start, flooring. So they are so durable. And that allows us to use it in so many ways. We have it on the floor, on the walls. We even make a lot of objects.
We make sure that everything from the product to the actual recycling and turn it into new raw material works the whole way.
We call this philosophy the Tarkett human conscious design, and that's how we want to live and breathe.
If you can make a product sustainable and attractive, well, then you succeed.
It's been an amazing journey.
Welcome back to the studio. We are currently sitting in the main space, which is called the auditorium. And I'm sitting here with Kerstin Lagerlöf, marketing manager of Tarkett. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, you refer to this space as an atelier rather than a showroom. What's the difference and why is it an atelier?
Well, we wanted to create a place demonstrating how design and sustainability really interact. And we wanted to show how circular economy can go from words to action. And also here show how it looks like when you combine the different recycled materials that we have. So I think that this is indeed a material library as well, or if you want a conventional showroom, but this is also something more.
And how will you use the space? What are your plans?
Well, this used to be an educational space, and I think it's rather easy to understand. This is a kind of a sunken auditorium, actually perfect place for lectures and seminars and show-offs and exhibitions, of course. So I think that we will spend a lot of time here together with our guests, and of course for an architect, it's nice to come here to explore different materials and as I said, well, this is a kind of unconventional material library as well, because if you look at these boxes, for example, you find things here, and this happens to be the carpet tile sections. So here you can go and look and feel and smell whatever you want to do, and then you can sit down here at the workshop table to continue your project.
So the project, it was always from the beginning that you wanted to hide the samples, or?
No, we don't want to hide them. I mean, we have so many samples. I mean, carpet tiles, yes, but wood and lino, lots of lino and lots of vinyl, and so I think we wanted to showcase other things as well and tell a story.
Why did you choose to collaborate with Note Design Studio?
I mean, we believe in long-term relations, and I think they know us and we know them, and they know our DNA very well. So we have a very, very good collaboration, and they have done fantastic things for us, and I think that we have a very good relation, actually.
Just for the listener that is not familiar, how long have you collaborated with Note Design Studio?
I think that we started back in 2018 with the Lookout at Stockholm Furniture Fair. And then we continue with the different exhibitions both in Stockholm and Milan. So it's been very fruitful, but also, good for both of us, I think.
What brief did you give them in this case?
Well, I said that we wanted to do something progressive and unconventional, but also the design direction was also including to show our Swedish roots, because I mean we are a French company, but we have Swedish roots, and I think that the Scandinavian design part is important, and I think that you have succeeded very, very well with the light here and the colors and the color combinations. I think it's very interesting.
You mentioned earlier to me that you didn't want to just inspire, but also to educate. Was that a part of their brief?
Yes, it was indeed. And I believe that we need to, as I said, tell a story about how in society, how circularity and design interact. And I think that design can accelerate sustainability in society. And I think that, on the other hand, that good design is sustainable. So I think it's a beautiful place to have these topics interacted.
So if you look ahead, how do you see this space develop?
Well, I hope that we will have a creative chaos during daytime and with lots and lots of samples and projects ongoing. But I also hope that we can use this place for exhibitions, inviting young Swedish designers, industrial designers, collaboration with the art schools and universities to continue that storytelling, but also that discussion that we need.
And this is also a place where the end consumer can come. So
Yes.
it's not just for architects.
No,
right?
it's for all. I mean, people from municipalities and regions and building proprietors and everybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to continue the conversation with Johannes Karlström from Note Design Studio. And he's right behind me.
Hey.
Hey. This is a beautiful space.
Thank you.
As an architect, what do you expect from a showroom or an atelier? What characteristics did you want to bring here?
I think when we started this work, we thought about like, what do you expect from a showroom? And of course, normally, traditionally, what you get is you go there to get inspired, to see the samples of the products in real life, to touch them and like play with them. Also to talk to the sellers, you know. But with Tarkett and with this showroom, it was a bit different because Tarkett has transformed like or evolved into not being just a material supplier, it's also a material innovator now. With the sustainability work they do, it's quite amazing. So we understood right from the start that this place needed to have other qualities. And as Kerstin said, the educational parts, to be able to come here to gather new knowledge about sustainability was one of the things that we really tried to incorporate here. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the space and the different areas.
Yeah, this is the big room. This used to be an auditorium, actually. There are other kind of rooms, meeting rooms with the other color palette. But for this room, for example, I'm sitting on this stair. On the opposite side is also another stair, so here you can gather a lot of people. We have this table here. It's on wheels, so you can move it around. On the side, it's a recycled wooden floor, and on the top it's linoleum. They can also be like 100% recyclable. So here we just imagine architects playing with the different materials, making a composition for the projects. You can also like just roll it out and use the whole floor as a surface. We have this little place. This is also on wheels, which is just a display of a little selection of all the materials. Because Tarkett's portfolio is, of course, it's huge. Also, their circular collection, like with 100% renewable, is also huge. So here's a selection of that. Pretty nice, big sample, so you can take it out, play with it.
Why do you like working with the materials of Tarkett? What's the most exciting and challenging part?
I think right from the start, we knew that the materials, when we started, was like flooring. So we tried to develop that. Also, the idea of what can it be used as. So if you see it as a material, you can use it on a table, on a kitchen. Like up here, I don't know if you can see, but we have made lamps.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful. And you can do beautiful things, but the main thing is it's so robust. So it's durable. You can walk on it. Then you can use it for like all the other applications you can think of, basically. So that's a really nice point, I think.
What have been your main learnings working with Tarkett for such a long time?
Well, Tarkett is a big company, of course. It's a global company. You need to learn how to navigate in that. I think we have partnered pretty good with several people in the organization. We started here in Scandinavia. We have a great collaboration here, which has led us forward. And I think we learned a lot from Dag, who will talk later, about sustainability, but also what you can do. There are great craftsmen in this company, which is a pleasure to work with. So if we design something or we have something in our head, they can make it look like flawless, super beautiful.
What about the icons? Do you want to talk us through them a bit, just shortly?
So that's another aspect of the materials, I think. It can be used in large-scale architectural appliances, like schools, hospitals, airports, like these big installations. But it can also be used in smaller spaces, like here. This whole showroom is validation of that. And it can also be used in like items like this. So we created a few significant pieces, like the table, the stools, the lamps.
Can we buy them? Can I buy them?
No, maybe you can order them, like bespoke. But it's not for sale yet. No. But yeah, we made a few icons that showcase the potentials of the various materials, basically.
Beautiful.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will continue the talk and walk over there to speak to Dag Duberg, that's Sustainability Manager of the Nordics. Hello, Dag.
Hello, Hannah.
What is this?
Well, this is recycling in reality. We see all these nice samples around here. We talk about recyclability, but we want to also show what recycling looks like in reality. So these are granules. It comes from an IKEA floor or an IKEA store in Västerås, where they use our vinyl floors. So they renovated I think it was the department for kitchen furniture. They took out 400 square meters. We have the possibility to get rid of the adhesive and flooring screed from the backing and make new granules and new raw material. So this is basically old floors made into raw materials for new products.
And will you always have these here so that you can show the visitors how you work, or is this temporary?
It's here for a while. We might, we're getting more and more fractions and that we actually can recycle in reality. And this is what we wanted to bring a bit of the recycling centers into the showroom. We have another bag there that we will look at later. I guess IKEA wants a new floor where we can use this material as raw material. We did that. We took back 10,000 square meters of this kind of product from the flagship store of IKEA in Stockholm. We took it to Ronneby. We cleaned off the adhesive and the flooring screed, and we made new products. Have already delivered new floors for IKEA with 50% was actually old, Stockholm IKEA store material in it.
But we've spoken quite a bit about in reality.
Yeah.
And we've emphasized this in conversations earlier. Do you want to talk me through that a bit? What do you mean when you say in reality?
Well, recycling and circular economy, often it's a buzzword, and it's often expressed in strategies and visions and so on, and that's good. But you really need to walk the talk, and this is what we have really tried to do in Tarkett. It's a matter of having a technical possibility. I mean, this is an industrial washing process in Ronneby, or the stuff over here. The equipment we have in Valvik in the Netherlands, where we can actually separate yarn from carpet tiles. So we need to have the technology and be able to introduce it as new raw materials. But we also need all these nitty-gritty parts like, okay, I have my old carpet tiles. How should I have them collected? Where should I call? What kind of pallet should I put the material on? How should it be wrapped? What kind of logistic partners should we use? How should we be able to track the material from this specific office somewhere all the way until it becomes recycled content, so we can report back that we took back 800 square meters or whatever. And all those details might not be rocket science. It's just hard work to get all these details in place. And that's what we really try to do, and which we also want to reflect in this circular collection.
But tell us more about the circular collection, the concept behind it.
Well, me being an engineer is kind of, I'm fascinated by these kind of technical aspects of recycling, and we can take back vinyl floors of a certain age, carpet tiles, now also linoleum and a couple of other products. But we said we should also package this, just like Kerstin said, design and sustainability goes together. So if we could put that in a nice package, addressing people who like design, architects, etc., and designers, we make a nice collection. It is existing products, but we picked out the ones that are truly recyclable, where we have everything in place, at least all over the Nordics, on the take-back system, the pallets, the bags, the whole process is in place. And to package them nice pictures, nice design, everything, and say, this is beautiful to look at, but they're also fully recyclable in reality.
So these products, do they have a low carbon footprint as well?
Yes, some have. It depends a lot on the raw materials. So that's one aspect, the kind of the production process and so on the climate impact. The other very interesting aspect of circularity is the climate savings you can do on recycling, and they are huge, let's say. Yeah.
But so if I walk in here as an end consumer, would I get help? I mean, you have some explanations that's easy for me to understand which material I use and how much footprint that. I mean, you can explain that quite easily if you come in and you have not so much knowledge.
Yes, there's a couple of things to guide you, and I'd say in general the guys and girls working here are skilled. They can explain how this works. And of course, one thing, as I said, is the carbon impact of the product itself. The other one is the savings you can do on recycling. Just as an example, if you want to recycle a vinyl floor like the ones we see here that are fully recyclable, if we recycle them, well, we will not send them to incineration. That is the normal scenario in basically all over Nordics. So first of all, if we recycle, we will not incinerate them. And to burn 1 square meter of vinyl floor basically emits 5 kilos of CO2. Okay, we can skip that part, so that's 5 kilos. And then we can use the material, like equivalent to 1 square meter, and replace virgin raw material. And that also saves another 5 kilos. So basically, to recycle 1 square meter of vinyl floor saves 10 kilos of CO2. So just the example, the IKEA example, 10,000 square meters, it's 100 tons of CO2 that we save.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Where would you say that we are today in terms of knowledge? Do you feel that Tarkett needs to educate the architects and the end consumers, and who has the responsibility in the end of the day?
Well, we've been on a long journey, but we've been going very fast, I'd say, the last just few years on developing a lot of new technologies to recycle and also putting all these systems in place. And of course, we have a mission to educate and say that we can do this. That is basically the blocking point today, is that we have systems in place to actually do recycling, but it's not known enough out there on the market. So we need the property owners, architects, construction companies to really focus on this, ask questions also. I think that the word recyclable, basically, if you look at any product sold today on any market, they're fully recyclable or 100% recyclable. But we show in our circular collection that we don't have all our products there. We have a lot of products that are truly not recyclable. You can't pick up the phone and say, come and get this product and recycle it for me. We don't have the technology or the system in place. We have for a couple of products. And I think this is important that property owners, municipalities, whatever, they're going to buy floors. They ask, are they recyclable? We want circular solutions. And the supplier says, yes, they are. And then you need to ask some more questions. Okay, how does it work? Where do I call? What happens when you recycle my products? Have you some examples to show that you actually can do it?
And that's a big difference.
Yes, that's a big difference.
Where is Tarkett in 5 years? What's your plans and the strategy ahead?
We're working on several different areas. First, develop even more technologies to be able to recycle even more floor fractions. Today, we can recycle basically 8 different kind of floors or floor fractions. We need to do technical investments to be able to recycle more and add on these whole logistics setups on that. We're looking into how to be able to also recycle older vinyl floors with additives. We're very cautious on having clean loops. We don't want to recirculate the old additives. I mean, we put a lot of pressure on finding the right and good raw materials when we buy virgin material. And of course, we need to have the same high requirements on recycled material. So we're looking into technologies to how to be able to use more recycled material without having to risk to reintroduce hazardous or unwanted chemicals. So it's a technological part, but we're also addressing politicians and governments and state councils and so on. They need to help us to push or actually have a higher demand on recyclable products in reality, and also that products should contain recycled content. And we have other aspects. I mean, we have legal aspects on waste transportation, that is still a bit difficult for us. So it's a wide area of things we're working with.
You've come a good far way. I want us to all go to the table and end today with a joint discussion.
Thank you.
I actually want to start with a question in regards to the role of the showroom, because you open it today, and soon I think you will be able to greet visitors in a safe manner again. But I think the showroom as a place have gained a new importance during the last 1 year. Which you didn't know perhaps when you started this. How do you look at that, the future of the trade fair versus the showroom?
I think it's difficult with temporary exhibitions requiring a lot of resources, time and money. I think it's good to do that if you can reuse the materials that you create. For example, over in the kitchen, we reuse the furniture from last year's Stockholm Furniture Fair, the natural bond. I think that is good. But otherwise, I think we need to be careful and reflect on that. It's not a very easy decision, I would say. Sometimes, I mean, we all long to meet. That's for sure. We all long to meet. But if we can arrange the booth design in a sustainable, reusable way, then I think it's fine.
How do you see the future of the trade fairs versus the showroom?
Yeah, I think it has been obvious the last years that sustainability is a big issue that needs to be dealt with by the trade fairs. They need to address that, of course, and work out a system to make it work. The last stand we did with Tarkett, it was fully recyclable, everything, basically, or we could reuse. It was based on components. So that might be one way to go. But I think, talking about this showroom, for example, I guess everyone can feel that since we haven't been able to meet properly, that we long for that a lot. And I just personally waiting to see people working here on this floor, exploring this space for sure.
We've touched upon it in the entire talk, but in what way is sustainability and design interconnected?
I think the circular collection is one way to connect it, but also I think that the pure knowledge that the products here are recyclable or have been made out of recycled material, it's a kind of a story that makes it beautiful in a more deeper sense than just the visual aspects. And this is also something to add on the first question, that I think to select building materials or floors today is much more than just the technical data sheet and the right colors. There's so much, they can really contribute to circularity, climate change if you're doing the right choice. And then you need to not just look at the samples, you need to maybe have a discussion or education or even debate about what is good and what is bad. Sustainability can be complex and it needs to be discussed. And this is why I think this is not a showroom. This is a meeting place and a forum and an auditorium. I think that is getting more and more important to be able to do the right choice.
But you will have a panel discussion this afternoon focusing on circular economy and how to accelerate this shift. What is needed for Sweden to become a circular country? And we like to think that we are very much, in the forefront. Are we, if you look at the rest of Europe? Well, is that a tricky question?
In a couple of ways, we have a lot of companies very active here, and I've got this Nordic responsibility, but I have an outlook on the rest of Europe, and we are in general in the Nordics much forward. But talking about what is needed, I think we need also the support of governments to do this transition. I think Norway has the most electric cars per capita in the world. It's not because Tesla is Norwegian, because they're not. It's because the Norwegian government said that we should fix this by taxes or incentives or whatever. I think we have a huge production of biofuels in Sweden, not only because we have good companies doing that, but also because of legislation and incentives. And I think we need governments to do more like that to kind of help us to make the right choice.
And I think, yeah, talking from a designer's perspective, we are quite far ahead in terms of rest of the world. We cannot hold that position forever, of course. Why we are in that way is because of the rules and regulations that has been like set 10 years, 15 years back. So, but now to progress, we need this kind of initiatives like, Tarkett, pushing really everything forward. And we as designers, we also need to take our standpoint, like which companies do we work with and what kind of stuff does these companies produce.
But do you feel as designers working with various companies that you can kind of bring your knowledge and that you can say, okay, no, but let's think about this. Do they listen to you? Are they a bigger incentive today to work in that manner?
Yeah, I think it's like on top of everybody's minds now, for sure. Then, of course, as what Dag is talking about, like real change, it takes time. But I guess when everyone is talking about it, progress is made. So we need to start pushing forward from all directions. Yeah. Hi.
I think that it's time to realize that recycling is something beautiful. Recycled material doesn't need to be dull or gray or ugly, because they're not. And that is thanks to technology, actually. So I think that we need to change our own mindset. And if you look at all these materials, they are of course recyclable, and they are not gray and ugly. No. But it's a swift.
But if we look in the next couple of months, or I mean, you're opening for the public tomorrow. What will happen here during this year?
Lots of meetings, and we hope to arrange physical meetings, obviously. But this place is also very suitable to arrange webinars. Thank God. And we will have some interesting exhibitions coming up during autumn, and come back to that. Debate this afternoon, as you mentioned. We'll have a roundtable discussion or square table discussion, I don't know, with politicians. So and that will be interesting.
That's interesting. And we all hope for a future where we can meet and have exhibitions. Yeah. Let's see if we have had any questions from the public. We have one from Maria Friström. Do you have any plans to open more ateliers elsewhere, like in Helsinki, for example?
Well, we'd love to open an atelier in Helsinki. We don't have any concrete plans today, but we'll see what the future brings.
Is it something more you would like to add to the press and to the architects listening? Is it something that you feel we have not brought up?
I think in general, when it comes to sustainability issues, ask more questions to suppliers, challenge us and our colleagues in the trade. Don't just take yes or no for an answer. Ask more.
I think this space is absolutely beautiful, and I look forward to following the discussion this afternoon, but also all the exhibitions that are planned and still a bit secretive for the autumn. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for listening to us. And you can absolutely contact Tarkett for more questions, and also, of course, to book your own appointment to come and visit this very beautiful space. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.